Thank you. Thank you. My father, the Wechau, my father, the Doromona, our chiefs and elders, queen mothers, and people of Wild West, I greet you, Yebarka, Yebarka, Yebarka. My message is simple. We have a choice to make. In life, it is always full of choices. At every juncture of your life, you have to make a choice. When you go to school, you finish basic education, you have to choose which secondary school you want to go to. You go to secondary school, you have to choose which subject you want to do. You finish secondary school, you decide, choose which university to go to. You go to university, you decide which subject you want to do. Then when you come out of university, you have to choose what career you want to do. And so life at every stage is full of choices. Before you marry, you have to choose which woman you want to marry. Now, anytime you have to make a choice, pray to God that you make the right choice. Because if you make a wrong choice, the consequences will follow you for the rest of your life. It's the same with elections. In elections, we're required to make choices about leadership, about who will be our president, about who will be our member of parliament. You make a right choice, it leads to success. It leads to a better life. It leads to development. It leads to improvement. You make a wrong choice, it leads to pain. It leads to hardship. It leads to suffering. In 2016, we made a wrong choice because people came and said a lot of sweet things to us. And remember, there's an English proverb that says that not all that glitters is gold. It's not everything that is shining that is gold. Sometimes it is bronze. Sometimes it is brass. And so when you are faced with making a choice, pray that God gives you the sense of discernment to make the right choice. On 7th December, we're going to make a choice. 80% of Ghanaians have said that our country is going in the wrong direction. And when you're going in the wrong direction, what do? You reset, you change course, and follow another leader who knows the road. And so the time has come for us to make a choice. And I know that this time the people of Wild West, the people of Ghana are not going to make a mistake. In 2016, Akufo-Addo had no track record of leadership as president at that level. In 2016, Bawumia was just a technocrat in the Bank of Ghana. He had no track record in leadership. And so there was no basis for comparison. And so even though we had done the Jambusi Waterworks to provide water for the people of Upper West, we had built a new regional hospital for the people of Upper West. We were building a multi-complex lecture hall for the University of Development Studies. We're building the most modern library in any tertiary institution in Ghana in the University of Development Studies. We had tarred and asphalted the Wa Town roads. We had built the biggest library in Ghana in Wa, the Wa Public Library. And so we're connected more than 400 communities to the national grid. Despite all that, the sweet promises, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, $1 million per constituency per year. Those promises were too enticing to resist. And so we made a choice. And the people of Ghana said the NDC should go sit aside for a while. And all I said, well, we did our best, but posterity will judge. Because in English, again, we say experience is the best teacher. Because any experience you go through takes you to another level in terms of learning. And so these 8 years have not been wasted. They've been a very useful experience for the people of Ghana. That is not the person who makes the sweetest promises that makes the best leader. That is the lesson this last 8 years have given us. That is not the person who makes the sweetest promises who would make the best leader. The one who makes a good leader is the one who tells you the truth, is the one who is honest, is the one who won't tell you what he cannot do, is the one who does and does not talk. That is the leader we're looking for. We're looking for the leader who has the experience. We cannot experiment with our lives again. The young people of this country don't have the luxury of time to try and error again. The same thing we did in 2016. Try me, try me, try me is what Akufo-Addo was telling everybody. And we tried him. The result is what we're seeing today. So where the country is today is not an issue of trial and error. We need an experienced hand to take this country and put it back on its feet. In 2016, they said everybody was suffering. Nurses are suffering, teachers are suffering, doctors are suffering, policemen are suffering, farmers are suffering. And so today, those people are suffering more today than they ever did in the history of this country. You see, when a government has performed so poorly, you don't reward it with another electoral success, because that breeds impunity and sends a signal that anybody can come and do anything, toy with the lives of our people, and still he will be rewarded with success in elections. NPP deserves to go back into opposition to reflect on the pain they have inflicted on Ghanaians, to reflect on the suffering they have inflicted on Ghanaians, to reflect on the destruction they've caused to our economy, to reflect on the debts that they have heaped on our heads, to reflect on the poor infrastructure record that they have inflicted on us. They need to go back into opposition to reflect and learn before they come back and contest again. And that is why in 2024, the elephants must go back to the bush. And indeed, let me tell you, for some of you who have friends who are in the MPP, in your quiet moments with them, they will tell you the truth, that they want their party to go back to opposition. If you speak to your friends who are MPP, I have friends who are MPP, and they tell me, they say, President Mahama, you must win this election so that we'll take our party back to opposition. so that we'll take our party back into opposition and recover it from the few people who have hijacked it. Let me tell you what this election is about. There are two main things that are of concern to Ghanaians in this election. Before any election, there are issues that are of concern to the electorate. In some elections, it's about health care. You find another election is about education. You find another election is about infrastructure. You find another election is about governance and corruption. The key issues in this election of 2024 is one, the economy, and two, employment. Those are the two key issues. So let's mark NPP on the two key issues. They came and made the cedi stable at 4 cedis to $1. And they said they were going to arrest the cedi, and they had locked it up and given it to the IGP. So let's mark them on the stability of the currency. From 4 cedis, they have taken the local currency to 17 cedis for $1. So, on the issue of currency stability, what grade will you give them? F? Fail. F means fail. Then, they said inflation was too high. And at the time NDC was leaving office, inflation was coming down, it was below 15%, and they said it was too high. And so they were going to come and lower inflation. Inflation under them went the highest in the Fourth Republic to 54%. And today, as I speak to you, inflation is above 20%, 22% inflation. And so if we are marking them on inflation, what grade will you give them? F? Fail. And so, under NDC, the total public debt was 120 billion cedis. And they said NDC had borrowed too much. And that if they came, they didn't need to borrow. That the money is there. I've worked with Bank of Ghana before. The money is there. We can do this. We can run this country without borrowing. And so they took it at 120 billion. Today, the public debt is 760 billion cedis. So, if you have to mark them on the public debt, what grade will you give them? F, another F for fail. Let's take unemployment. When NDC was in office, the unemployment rate of this country was 8.4%. And they formed, MPP formed the Unemployed Graduates Association. Do you remember that? And they said NDC could not generate jobs. They were going to come and generate jobs for young people. Today, as I speak to you, the unemployment rate of Ghana is at 14.7%. So if we want to mark them on employment, what grade will you give them? F. Now, if you write your exam to go to university and you get 4 Fs, which school is going to take you? And that is why Ghana is not going to take a failed student, is not going to take a government that has got 4 Fs, is not going to reward them with electoral success, is not going to give them the opportunity for impunity. The people of Ghana have marked their script, they have failed and so they are going to go back to the bush. The elephant will go back to the bush. When NDC was in government, we were undertaking a lot of projects. I remember that the Dorimon-Wa road was on contract. If NDC was still in government, that road would have been completed long ago. 8 years on after we left office, the Dorimon-Wa road is still undone. There are several communities in Wa West who were connected to electricity. 8 years on, they still don't have power. We're building several projects in the University of Development Studies. 8 years on, all those projects have come to a standstill. We're building an E-block in Wa West in Dorimon so that the young people of Dorimon, the students, could get secondary education without having to go all the way to Wa. 8 years on, that E-block has been abandoned. And so I can assure you, NDC is coming back into office. NDC is going to win the 7th December 2024 election. And there's no doubt about it. So those people who intend to waste their votes, just vote for NDC and give us a solid mandate so that we can come with all the authority and legitimacy to work to put your lives back on track. We will implement the farmer service centers. We're going to bring tractors, fertilizer, weedicides, improved seeds. We'll register all the farmers in Wa West, and during the farming season, you'll get all the inputs that you need. We're going to do regional recruitment into the public services, into the security services, because we want our security services to be a reflection of the face of Ghana. And so we'll come region by region and recruit from every region so that everybody in Ghana has the opportunity to serve in the security services. And don't worry if you don't have English and maths. You don't need to have English and mathematics. If you have it, it's good. But if you don't have it, get a vocational certificate. You must have a profession. Be a plumber. Be a mechanic. Be a carpenter. Be a mason. Be a dressmaker. Be a shoemaker. Whatever professional qualification you have, get a vocational certificate for it. It will qualify you to enter into the security services. My brother Peter Tuobu has spoken about some of the other things, the Women's Development Bank. I don't need to go over that. We have the National Apprenticeship Program. I don't need to go over that. We have the first year no fee stress academic policy. It means that for all of you who are in senior high school, if you qualify for nursing training college, you qualify for College of Education, you qualify for university, you qualify for any tertiary institution, agri college, whatever tertiary institution you qualify for. In the first year, you will not pay any academic fees. So while you are in the first year, you will apply for the student loan, and from the second year, you'll be giving the student loan to pay your fees. And then when you finish university and you get a job, then the loan will be deducted little by little by little until you finish paying. When NDC comes into office, no new school is going to be built without teachers' accommodation. Every school that is built will come with teachers' accommodation, water, and a place of convenience, toilet facilities. Teachers and nurses and doctors and public workers will be able to take cars on hire purchase. Government will guarantee you buy a car, and we will deduct from your salary little by little and pay back for the car so that you get to own it. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for everybody. And so NDC is coming back for the youth of this country. We're coming back so that we can create jobs for you. Every region is going to have an agro-industrial area to process the goods and farm produce that every region produces. Government will acquire the land, provide the water, provide the lights, do the roads, and the private sector will be encouraged to come and build the factories and buy the shea nut, buy the cassava, buy the maize, and process it here so that our young people can get work to do. And so there's a lot of good things coming to Upper West region. We're going to come and continue the roads. The road from Wa to Bole, Bamboy to Wechau to Techiman is in a deplorable state. In the history of the Fourth Republic, I have never seen that road in such a deplorable state. I can assure you it's going to be one of our #1 priorities to fix the Wa-Bole Bamboy Wechau Techiman Road. Our next priority, our other priority would be to fix the Wa-Tumu Navrongo Bolga Road. And so I want to thank you all very much. I am standing for the presidential election on behalf of NDC, and my brother Peter Lanchene Tuobo is standing for NDC. When the poll closes, all of you go back to your polling stations. Everybody, go back to your polling stations and make sure that the votes are counted and counted properly. You must witness the counting and make sure that the count is credible and verifiable. And the law says that the presiding officer shall declare the results at the polling station. When he's declaring the results, if you have a video camera, video him declaring the results. And when they finish, they are supposed to paste the pink sheets with the presidential and parliamentary results on the wall of the polling station. When they paste the pink sheets, use your camera and take a picture of the pink sheets. So that tomorrow, if somebody changes the results of your polling station, you know that those results are fraudulent. And so all of you are going to help us to protect the vote. And I can assure you, for the party agents, we're going to make resources available to be able to look after yourselves. We're going to make money available for feeding. The women's organizers and others who are going to be involved in feeding, make sure you wake up early, make the food and water ready, and make sure that the party agents get their food on time so that nobody gets up to go and look for food. So as tradition demands, I will raise up my brother Peter's hands. You all know who he is. A police officer, very professional, with integrity, very credible, and such a person is an asset to us. And so my father, Wechau, you don't need to worry. He is with me. We're going to work together, and a word to the wise is enough. I'll raise his hand so that you all know he's a parliamentary candidate for Wechau West. Thank you very much. God bless you. And finally, I called my younger brother Kasim up here because I've come to Wechau West to campaign on several occasions. This is not my first time. And anytime I come, I see Kasim dressed in his traditional outfit. And today I called him up because if somebody is so devoted, he deserves to be recognized. So Kasim, thank you very much. God bless you and keep up the hard work. Thank you. And your umbrella is old, so let me give you this new one. Yeah? You can keep this umbrella.